Yo, welcome back to another episode of the JM Show. I am your host, Jody Mo, and it's Monday, so you know what I mean. It's Mo Day, so we back with the playoff bracket, breaking down the playoff games. Well, we got to start with the play-in. So we start with Charlotte versus the Miami Heat, which was a great game, controversial. You had that play, people was calling LaMelo dirty or whatever, and shout out to LeVar, shout out to Lonzo, hold down their little brother and son, but that's definitely love. But the Hornets end up, pardon me, the Hornets end up beating the Miami Heat. So they now have to go on and play the Orlando Magic where they get spanked. And I wanted the Hornets to make the playoffs, man, but they got spanked. Shout out to the Orlando Magic, Desmond Bain, Paulo, all them came to do their thing. They did their thing game one, too. So shout out to them. But for the Hornets, they'll be all right, man. It was a good season. You build on it, go to the next season, and you make things happen. So it's still a young team, so they had a good season. But our West play-in, you had the Suns versus the Warriors. The Warriors end up beating the Suns. First, they end up beating the Clippers. I had the Clippers winning. They beat them. No, they lost to the Suns. Pardon me. I made that mistake. They lost to the Suns, but they beat the Clippers. So shout out to the Warriors. Somewhat good season. I mean, they got to rebuild over there. They know it's time. You could keep Steph, you could keep Draymond, but they can't be the focal point of the offense no more. You got to bring in a guy. I know they brought in Jimmy, but that ain't work. Jimmy got hurt to the point where you forget Jimmy on the team. You know what I mean? So yeah, shout out to them though. So we start with the first series, playoff series. Hold on, let me get it right up here. And we got the Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Toronto Raptors. Now, the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Cavs, they are my sneaker pick, right? That means I can see them coming out the East, right? So my pick is the Boston Celtics, but my sleeper pick is the Cavs. So they handled business game one against the Raptors. Donovan Mitchell, James Harden, Max Scrooge, they did their thing. So I got the Cavs in 6. I have the Cavs winning this series in 6, but I can easily see, it might go, well, not 7. I can easily see the Raptors fighting back, though, because it was a good game, right? It's just Cleveland, they handled business, but it was a good game. So shout out to the Raptors. I can see them getting a game or two, Shout out to them. Then out east, we have the Celtics versus the 76ers. Now, I didn't have the 76ers. I didn't actually have them making I had them making the 8th. But they made the 7th spot. So shout out to the 76ers. But yeah, this is going to be Celtics in 5. I give them a game. I give a game where Maxey, where VJ, where Paul George go crazy. And it's probably going to be one of them home games. But I could easily see the Celtics sweeping them, bro. I could easily that game yesterday was dominant. Shout out to Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. They came out, put their foot on their neck, and they never let up. So that could easily be a sweep. But I get the 76ers a game. Then out east, we have the Knicks versus the Hawks. Now I have this Knicks in 6 because I can see a little balance there. Well, I can see the Hawks could probably get a game or two. It could be 5. It could be Knicks in 5, but I don't know. The Knicks don't give me just dominant, get you out the paint type team. They give me more, we're going to beat you in the long haul. Because it was a good game at first. It kind of got out of hand, closed the third. But the Hawks kept fighting back. They just have lack of playoff experience, except for CJ. Shout out to CJ. But, yeah, Knicks in 6, man. That ain't too much I'm going to be worried about. If the Knicks lose this, then that's just crazy. Then you have the Pistons versus the Magic, right? The first seed versus the 8th. Now, the Magic actually, I have Pistons in 6. I still have them winning the series. It's game 1, I know. But I never take one game and think that's the series. You got to beat this team twice. And they building. Now, there's a Pistons record they have where they haven't won a home game in like 11, 12 playoff games, which is crazy. Because I remember it was a year Blake Griffin was there. They got swept. And then last year they lost both games to the Knicks at home, right? The Knicks actually closed them out at home, which was crazy. But I still got the Pistons winning in 6. I got the Pistons. They're gonna end that streak next game, I assume. But yeah, it was a shocker, man. The Magic took game 1. So the Magic is up 1-0 right now. So they should feel good. Desmond Bain, Paulo, uh Weston Carter. Yeah, they should all feel good over there because people had them like a disappointment. And to come out and do this, it kind of changed people's minds. Like, okay, get his team time, get him more time to jail. Maybe you got some. So shout out to them. Now we're gonna go out west. Out west, you have the 1 seed versus the 8th, which OKC versus the Suns. And OKC is actually my pick to come out the West this year. I think Shea and them, they have repeat energy. They started the year off great. Even when people was trying to act like it was something, it really wasn't nothing. They held down the number 1 seed all year. I know they got that rivalry with the Spurs, people trying to make, but we'll see what happens. Now, game 1, okay, so OKC, I would have them in 5. I get the Suns a game, but this could be a sweep. This actually probably is going to be the sweep of the first round because they just went crazy on them boys, man. Shout out to Dylan with the Suns. Shout out to Dylan. Shout out to Jalen Green, Devin Booker. I get them a game. They might could get a game, but I could easily see a sweep because yesterday was just horrible, right? You know what I mean? They got to run some plays or something. They playing street ball out there. You do that against OKC, you're going to get swept. Second matchup, you have the Spurs versus the Blazers. Now, I'm actually shocked that the Blazers are in this position because in the play-in, I actually had the Blazers losing to the Suns. They actually beat them. That's what led to the Suns playing the Warriors. Because I had the Clippers being the 8th seed, but obviously they not. So the Blazers being here is just it's a good season, right? They're a good coach team, well coached team. They play the right way. They make the right plays, defense. They just don't have a guy, right? Like now, if Dame was actually playing, you never know. But no Dame, when you need a guy to make those moments, they just don't have that guy. And the Spurs are well coached as well, defensive team, and they have that guy. They have a couple, right? You got De'Aaron Fox who could do it. You got Wemby who could do it. So I could actually see this being a sweep as well. You know what I mean? But I go 5. They might get a game. You never know with a well coached team. They might make some adjustments and they hit you with something you ain't see coming, and they end up winning the game. Then you have the Lakers versus the Rockets. Now the Lakers are my sleeper pick out west because I'm a big Luka Doncic fan. Shout out to him. Austin Reeves is a great player. Got LeBron James, who people will argue is the greatest of all time. So, that's anytime you got that type of mix that you can't doubt that team. So, but Luka's hurt. Austin Reeves is also hurt. So I still have Lakers in 7. I still picked them because I picked them early in the year, and I be stubborn like that sometimes. So I still gave them the 7. And but game 1, the Lakers end up taking game 1. So shout out to the Lake Show. No KD, so you gotta take that for what it is. But at the same time, no Luka on this side. So yeah, I still have the Lakers in 7. I just keep it that way. And when I say in 7, I truly mean it could go either way because that's what 7 games is. Once you get to the 7th game, it's just like a 1-game elimination. Then now you just play your heart out, right? So I still got Lakers in 7. Then the last series, we have the Wolves versus the Nuggets, right? This is another in 7, but I have Nuggets in 7 because this could go either way as well. These teams are very well matched. Game 1, the Wolves had momentum. They had moments where it looked like they was going to steal this game, but then the Nuggets came back and held it down. Shout out to Jamal Murray. Great game. Jokic, great game. They just well coached. You know what I mean? And when I say well coached, not even meaning like their coaches, like the team is just being well coached to the point where they know what to do, right? Like they at that point where they know what to do. They know how to play together. So same thing kind of for the Wolves, but they had a moments where Julius Randle ain't a number 2 like you want him to be. You know what I mean? He got his moments where he could definitely be, but I don't know. You know, it could go either way, but still, I would have the Nuggets edge in the mind. I wouldn't even be shocked if the Nuggets beat them in 6. Like I wouldn't be shocked, but you know, can't never doubt Ant-Man. You never know with Ant. He might just go crazy one game. So, you know, the playoffs been good, man. Been great games. Most of these games have been close games. You know, to certain points where the better team prevails, but you know, it's been good playoffs, man. You know what I mean? I'm happy with what's going on. Obviously, MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, all that's gonna start getting announced. I got Shea, MVP, Defensive Player of the Year. You got to go Wemby. He just been dominant all year. I see Wemby in MVP combo. They got Shea, Jokic, and Wemby, which is crazy because Jaylen Brown had a great year. Luka had a great year, but I know it go by the games, that 65 game minimum. So you never know. But got some games that's played tonight. We're going to update this bracket next week. I'll be back next week on Monday to break it down. What's going on, seeing how my picks look. Because out east, my picks look the best. They look the best out east. West is still kind of, I got a couple toss-ups. But out east, if the Cavs do what they supposed to do and they handle business, it'll be Cavs versus Celtics Eastern Conference Finals. And yeah, that'll be dope. So shout out to you know what's going on in the playoff bracket. JM, Jody Mo from the JM Show. I'm gonna holler at y'all next week, man.